Well, hello there. I'm calling this Patreon update number 1. Obviously, this is not the first video I've ever made for you. In fact, behind the scenes content is kind of what you're paying for, right? Depending on your tier status, I suppose. But I want to be able to provide you with more value. And frankly, uploading videos to Patreon from my phone, I don't enjoy that. It doesn't adhere to my quality level, if you will. Plus, not to mention, Patreon really limits me on how long I can make that video. So that means I can't tell you everything I want to tell you. I run out of time, etc. And so I decided to create an unlisted YouTube playlist dedicated for Patreon videos only. I will now upload videos here on YouTube. That way there's no limit to how long they can be. The quality can be better, for the video and the audio portion. And I will upload the video directly to Patreon and lock it behind tier 2 members and above. And then it's basically the same thing. The only difference is technically, if you know how YouTube works, it's an unlisted video, not a private video. So that means if you really wanted to, you could copy the URL at the top of your web browser, share this video anywhere you want, and people could watch it as long as they have this specific link. And technically, I would lose money if you did that, but I don't really care because that's not what this is about. It's about providing my active members value. And I want to be able to provide you value. And the best way to do that is to be able to talk to you in an unrestricted format. So this is the new format. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below, or let me know what you think about it in the Discord. Speaking of Discord, Discord's been a little bit quiet lately. I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about what's been going on since my last video, because it's been about 10 days or so since I've uploaded. And I want to talk about things I got coming in the pipeline. So let's get into it. Okay, first things first, these videos will not be heavily edited videos like my regular YouTube videos. Those videos take anywhere between 6 to 8 to 10 hours to produce because of all the B-roll. This is just me talking to you the way that I would talk to you in person. So I hope that is okay. Secondly, I put out my last 2 videos. They were talking about the Intel versus AMD latency issues. And since all of that, couple of things about it. Number 1, those videos performed incredibly well. Number 2, those videos opened up a lot of doors for me in terms of connections and people I can consult with now. Tech Yes City is a good example of that, for example. So that was pretty cool, and I never saw that coming. And then in addition to that, I did fully switch back to AMD, like I mentioned in my previous video. And man, it's been a great experience. Honestly, truth be told, I forgot what it felt like to have a system that didn't really stutter or lag every time I moved the mouse. In fact, for the first several days I was using the AMD system, I was fully expecting my mouse to stutter at some point because I was so, I guess, used to that happening with the Intel system. I was like, where's the stutter? Where's the stutter? And when it didn't happen, it kind of played a trick on my mind. So very happy with the 7800X 3D being back on the system. Everything's running, with the Expo profile, 6000 megahertz, everything's stable, reliable, no crashes, no issues. I'm completely happy with it. And I will eventually be making the before you buy AM5 video 1 year later video that I was talking about. But I do have some other things I have to talk about first. Speaking of which, so that's what my last content was. I haven't uploaded since then. I haven't been too active in the Discord. A lot of you haven't been too active, and that's totally fine. But I do want to talk about, the community and some of the things I have coming down the pipeline. So what am I working on? Well, I tried my best to space out some of the product review samples I would get. And unfortunately, working with companies honestly kind of sucks. I'm just going to be honest with you guys, okay? You want exclusive behind the scenes content and what it's like to be a creator? This is what it's like, okay? Every company that contacts you basically falls into one of 2 categories. They fall into a category where they are willing to bend over backwards to work with you, pay you to promote their product, send you the product for free, but their products suck and have absolutely nothing to do with tech. Even today, I got multiple emails about, hey, will you review this phone charger? Hey, will you review this PS5 controller air conditioner thing? It's just so bizarre and weird and things that I would never in a million years want to review. Those are one set of companies that contact me. And the other companies are the set of companies that I actually want to work with, like Asus and Deepcool, for example. They provide products that are actually relevant to you, my audience. The problem with that is Most of the time, these companies don't send you what they said they would send you, or they don't send you what they said they would send you when they said they would send you it. So Asus is definitely the worst experience I've had so far in terms of product delay. And, essentially they were like, hey, we're going to give you, these products on this day. The products didn't show up until 3 weeks later, not 3 days later, 3 weeks later. And at that time, I had other products coming in and I got behind. And then in addition to that, in the tech industry, when some news breaks out, I kind of have to stop what I'm doing, learn what's happening, and then if it's relevant, make a video on it, and then go back to the product review, etc. Right? And then in addition to that, whenever I do the product reviews, I have to be very meticulous with it because I have to, represent what the brand has asked me to do in agreement in exchange for the product, because there's an agreement there. Sometimes there's contracts I sign, but then I also have to make sure that I'm being fair and unbiased for you, my audience. And so a lot of times I have to really take the time to, write a script or, review the product and make a video and then scrap it and then do it again and edit it and re-edit it. And so product reviews are something that starting to lower my flame, bring my fire down of excitement, if you will. As I stand here before you and I record this video, I have 4 product reviews I have to do. And I tried to space out the products, I did, but in good old fashion, companies don't send you things when they say they're going to send you those things. And so needless to say, all those products came in about the same time and all the companies want the videos now. And then my brain doesn't do well with a lot of clutter. And so I have a bunch of boxes over here. My brain doesn't do well with that. And then I just kind of shut down and cripple up. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. In addition to that, I kind of fall victim to the whole analysis paralysis thing. There's too many options. So which one do I choose? And so I'm just going to kind of have to suck it up, buttercup type of deal, put my big boy pants on and, just start reviewing this stuff. I have 2 1440p monitor reviews I have to do. And I really regret agreeing to that. I wish I just would have picked one. But I didn't really know if one was going to come through or not. So I said yes to both. And then they both said yes and sent them to me at the same time. And they're so similarly spec'd that I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to do 2 videos on basically the same product. And so lesson learned there. Deepcool did send me the 360 Mystique AIO. The last one was faulty. They asked me to send it back in. So I sent it back in and then they sent me a new one. And well, technically they sent me the new one with a shipping label and said, hey, please ship the old one back. So I did that. But now that's one more thing I have to do. I have not connected it yet. So I don't know if the last one was actually faulty or if they were just saying that. I guess I'll find out when I connect this new one. And I also got a new case in for review, which is basically a Lee & Lee mini knockoff, but I'm hoping it's better in some specific regards. And I'm going to be testing very specific scenarios with this case and be looking for a couple of different features. And if I find it, I'll be more than happy to shout that out in the video because that is something I've wanted. But let me unbox it and test it first. So that's some of the things I have coming down the pipeline. I'm obviously definitely still going to do, the whole AMD 1 year later video, like I mentioned before. And I want to talk about something else. So I want to talk about one more thing I have coming. And I also want to talk about some things going on in our community that need to be addressed. So what do I have coming? I am working on an application. I've mentioned this before. I haven't told you specifically what the application will do, but it will be an application for gamers. So if you're part of the community and you are a gamer, it is my hope that you will appreciate what I am working on creating. This is an application I have been working on again, off again for about 2 years now. I have written some of the lines of code myself. I have completely mocked up the entire design. I have outsourced the majority of the work to another developer. One developer completely lied to me, ripped me off, overpromised, underdelivered, completely missed every deadline that we agreed to. Really upset me. I have since then found a new developer who is way better in every regard, but also 10 times more expensive. You heard that right. 10 times more expensive. But you get what you pay for. And so far, I'm very happy with what I've seen. He's been sending me video updates and saying, hey, here's the app. This is what it's doing. I'm like, sweet. He's like, this is what I'm doing next. And he shows it to me. And I'm like, sweet. So it's coming. It is coming very soon. Get ready. I'm super excited to share it with you. Part of me at this point. I think I'm too close to the project to really see it objectively at this point. I can't see the forest for the trees. Part of me feels like now the app's going to be dumb now that it's here and I've, spent all this time and money on it. I'm worried that it's going to fail and it's going to be dumb and you're going to hate it because you're going to look at it and say, we don't need that. But at the same time, I take a step back and I try to think about why I started making it to begin with. And I hope there's enough people with that mindset that latch onto it, but time will tell. And if we do get enough people who are interested in this upcoming application, I will enhance it. I will add future enhancements. I will take this application and I will be locking it to Patreon only. So that is more value for you. And I got news for you. If you're a current member, or if you will be a current member at the time of this video for the application going live on my YouTube channel, I will be sending you a private link. Each and every one of you will receive a private DM from me with a link to download your copy of the application, regardless of your tier status, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. It does not matter. That is my appreciation to you for being an existing, what I like to call, legacy member. Now, with that being said, any new people who are not Patreon members will have to join the tier 3 status or higher in order to get access to the application. Additionally, for all of you legacy members, if you want any future updates to the application, that will then require you to be part of the tier 3 status, but we'll cross that bridge if and when we get to it, because right now I'm just trying to get version 1.0 out the door and I don't even know how that's going to go. So I don't want to think too far ahead, but I am a planner. So anyway, I'm super excited for this application. Like I said, it's been an itch that I haven't been able to scratch for a couple of years, and it's almost here. I'm about to see it come to life, and all of you will be getting a copy of it, regardless of your current tier status. So enjoy. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the state of the community and a couple of things going on. So unfortunately, there are some people within the Patreon Discord that are not currently active members. Some of you are here, believe it or not, from the original leftover trial. Well, if you remember, whenever I shut down my old public Discord, I said, hey, come over, I'll give you guys a free trial. That trial was only supposed to last for a limited amount of time, and some of you kind of promised me that you would sign up, and then you didn't follow through on that. And I never said anything because, frankly, some of you that I'm talking about aren't really active in the Discord anyway. Like, you're not really taking advantage of the community. So I'm like, oh, okay, no harm, no foul. Others of you have, basically been signed up since day one, and you have recently let your membership lapse. And I don't want to be the bad guy. I don't want to be the guy that's like, hey, you need to re-sign up and you're kicked out of here. At the same time, though, it's not rocket science. If I put up a Patreon shout out and I say, hey, thank you to my active Patreon members, and then existing paying active Patreon members look at that list and they notice, okay, this guy is active in the Discord, but he's not on that list. Okay, why is Z-Rock charging me and not charging this guy? That puts me in a really tight spot, guys. It's only $1 to be a member in the Discord. And I don't mean to harp on this. I really don't. For me, I'm not trying to be egotistical here. I will wipe my butt with $1. It's not about the dollar. It's about being fair to everyone that's there, because I want everybody in the community to feel welcomed and to feel like that they were treated fairly and equally. That is what's important to me. And I'm in a compromised position when I know I have 2 or 3 people over here who have not paid and they're still using the Discord fairly regularly. That's not okay. So if you can, and if you don't mind, please sign back up to be fair to everybody else. And I'm sorry if that makes you upset at me, but unfortunately, sometimes in order to be fair for everybody, I have to make a couple of people mad at me. But with all that being said, look, every one of you have been incredibly awesome, and I never thought I would make it this far. This is my 3rd YouTube channel. My first 2 YouTube channels, I had no idea what I was doing. They were colossal failures. And the fact that my channel now is approaching a total of 5 million channel views and 21,000 subscribers, I'm very grateful. And I just want to say thank you to all of you. And my goal is to provide value. I want to provide value. That is why I'm spending all this money on this application to give to you. That is why I'm now creating a whole playlist of Patreon videos so that I'm not limited to 1.5 minutes, so that I can have deeper, more intellectual conversations with you and give you better, more accurate behind the scenes updates of what's going on. I want to provide value to you, but I also want to be fair and equal to everybody who's here. So thank you guys so much for your continued support. You are absolutely incredible. There are some incredible things coming. One more thing about the app. I need you to go sign up for a Steam API key. It is free. It takes like a minute to fill out the paperwork or whatever it is. And 24 hours later, they will send you the API key. Sign up for a Steam API key. It is completely free. You will need it for the upcoming application. That's all I got. I'm hoping to get a new video on the channel soon. Until next time, eRock out.